There are different stories about how the earth as we know it came to be. Diverse groups across the world have told their versions through generations. This video will look at versions of the creation story as told by different ethnic groups across Africa. 1. Fulani Myth of Creation. The Fulani people are mostly found in West Africa, where they have a very large population that spreads across Nigeria, Niger, Chad, Senegal, and other countries. According to their myth of creation, before man was created, there was a huge drop of milk, and the god of creation, Dundari, came. His first creation was stone, which he empowered to create iron. From iron, fire emerged, and then fire created water. Water created air. Dundari visited the earth a second time, and he took the 5 elements that were created to make man. Man became too proud, and the god created blindness, but blindness also became proud. Dundari created sleep to defeat blindness, but sleep soon became proud, and the god made worry to defeat sleep. It did not take worry too long to become proud. The god sent death to defeat worry. This did not solve the problem, as soon enough, death became proud. Dundari was forced to visit the earth for a third time as Gueno, the Eternal One. He became the one who finally defeated death. 2. Baasare Myth of Creation. According to these people, the creation of humanity started with the heaven. God did this with the use of several supporting pillars. He created the world in the form of lightning, through which the sun and the moon emerged. A fight ensued between the sun and the moon. Somehow, the sun managed to throw the moon into the mud, and that is why the moon is not as bright as the sun, and it only shines at night for criminals and witches. God continued his work of creation with the clouds and a red cockerel that had the function of crowing whenever it thunders. In the next stage, the rain as well as the male and female rainbows were created. In his final stage of creation, the Baasare people indicated that God made 2 assistants and gave them the earth as a space to walk. This stage also saw the creation of mountains and valleys, and also lakes and rivers through rains. This myth of creation came to an end with the making of humans and animals. 3. Nyamweze Myth of Creation. These people are a Bantu tribe found in Tanzania. According to them, creation began with the plant of life, Shida Matinda. This god of creation made the earth and water, then plants and animals. His next creation was 2 women that he took as wives. The god lost his favorite wife to death and buried her in her house. He remained by the grave at all times, watering it until he saw a small plant sprouting forth. This gave him so much joy and the conviction that his cherished wife was going to return to life. He kept his second wife away from the grave until one day that he had to go out for an assignment. Overwhelmed by curiosity, the other wife crept into the room and saw the plant which she cut out of jealousy. Blood from the grave gushed and filled the room. When Shidamatunda returned, he knew what had happened and that his loving wife was never going to return. He got angry at his jealous wife and told her that because of what she did, everything that had life, including plants, animals, and humans, must now face death. 4. Wasa Myth of Creation. The earth was empty according to these people, whose myth claims that the only being at the beginning of time was the god of fullness and satisfaction, or Yankopon. In search for a companion, this god created the earth to serve as his wife. Next, he created the spirits whom he gave the assignment of keeping him company and visiting his beautiful wife from time to time. Onyankopon also ordered the spirits to inhabit the realities in the world. They serve to run his errands, and they make their journey through a long chain from his throne. 5. Nupe Myth of Creation. Found in Nigeria, the Nupe people claim that like all other stories of human creation, there was first God. He took to work and created stones, tortoise, and man. He gave life to all his 3 creations except for stone. There was no death at this point. Hence, men and tortoise could grow young again after they had become very old. One thing God did not give to his creations was the ability to have children. But the tortoise kept going back to God to ask for children. God told him anything that had children must die. But the tortoise stated that it had no problem with that. It just wanted to see its children and then it can die. God granted the tortoise his wish, and man also came that he wanted to have children. God warned man, saying that he must die if he had children, but he insisted he was ready to die once he could see his children. God granted this wish, and that was how children and death made their way to the world. 6. Yao Myth of Creation. A tribe found in East Africa, these people believed that in the beginning of time, the god Muling occupied the earth together with other animals. Humans were not in existence at that point. One day, the chameleon went to fish and had a good catch on the first day. He returned again the second day, but the only thing he found were tiny humans, a man and a woman. He took them to Muling, who ordered for them to be released. The chameleon and other animals watched as the humans continued to grow in size and dominate the earth. One day, they started a fire that continued to burn, and they killed a buffalo which they cooked and ate. Humans brought chaos upon the earth, causing all other animals to flee. The chameleon climbed on top of a tree, and the spider used his web to disappear into the sky. It threw a rope to the god Muling, who caught and went into the skies as well. It was through this that God left the earth for humans. 7. Efe Myth of Creation. This pygmy tribe of the Democratic Republic of Congo believes that the creation of the world was done by a supreme being and god called Arabate. They claim that the god began his creation with the help of the moon. The two formed man using clay, which was covered with skin before blood was poured into it. Arabate named the first man Batsi. Men enjoyed the earth as much as they wanted, as they were gifted with the power of living to old age before growing young again. God commanded man to go ahead and have children. With this, when they grew old and tired, instead of growing young again, they could now retire to heaven. The God allowed men to eat everything the earth had to offer, except for the fruit of the tahu tree. This rule was upheld until one day when a pregnant woman had a strong craving for the fruit of the forbidden tree. She asked her husband, who at first refused, but with so much persistence, he gave in. He made his way into the forest at night and plucked one for his wife. The moon saw this and reported to the Creator. Angered by the disobedience, Arabate sent death upon man as punishment. 8. Kono Myth of Creation. Found in Guinea, these people claim that human creation came through two important deities, Sa and Alatangana. They indicate that these gods lived in different places until one day when Alatangana visited the god of death, Sa. Alatangana was disappointed when he saw the mess of a home in which Sa, his wife and his only daughter lived, and so he banished them until they fixed the place by adding vegetation and animals to their mud house. The two soon became very good friends, and in the process, the visiting god fell in love with Sa's daughter, but the host does not want to let his daughter go. Alatangana realized that if he did nothing, he might not get the woman he loved, and so he eloped with her to a very far place where Sa's anger could not reach. They continued to live happily and had a large family of 14 children, 7 boys and 7 girls. The issue they had was that 3 of their daughters were black while 4 were white, and 4 of their sons were white while 3 were black. More so, each of the child spoke a different language not understood by Alatangana and his wife. This forced the god to pay a visit to his father-in-law, who told him he caused it as a result of the anger he felt towards Alatangana and his daughter. He informed them that the white children should marry each other, while the black kids should marry themselves. They should also go to different parts of the world and populate different types of white and black people. Alatangana returned to Sa for help again through the earliest rising birds, the red tutu and the golden cock, because his children were living in darkness. Sa taught them how to bring light with a song, but when they returned, Alatangana got angry and wanted to kill them, so they sang, begging heavens to help them. It was at this point that light came. This gave birth to day and night with the journey of the sun. Seeing that Sa had done so much for the other god, he went and told him because he took his only child without paying bride price, he will pick any of his descendants whenever he felt the need for repayment. Alatangana agreed, and this ushered death upon the human race. 9. Yoruba Myth of Creation. According to the Yorubas, who are one of the largest ethnic groups in Africa and mostly found in the western part of the continent, the story of human creation began with the chief god, Olorun. They stated that in the beginning of time, there was only the sky, the water, marshland, the gods, and the goddess, Olokun. While Olorun ruled the skies, Olokun was in charge of the earth. Another god, Obatala, saw that there was a need for dry land for living beings to occupy. He approached the god of the sky, who gave permission. Obatala sought the counsel of the son of Olorun and god of prophecy, Orunmila, who told him that he would need a gold chain that would run from the skies to the earth, a snail shell filled with sand, as well as a white hen, black cat, and a palm nut. All these should be brought in a bag. With the help of other gods, he got the needed gold, tied the chain to the skies, and hung the bag on his shoulder as he journeyed to the earth. Obatala came to the end of the chain. Without seeing the earth, he was commanded by Orunmila to pour the sand and then set the white hen free. The hen scratched and scattered the sand, and these led to the formation of the dry land, stretching as far as his eyes could see. The god planted the palm nuts he came with, and it grew immediately, producing seeds that fell and also grew. He remained on earth with his cat as company, but soon he got bored and felt the need to create beings like himself for the purpose of company. He made figures using clay, but along the line he got tired and decided to take a break, during which he got palm wine from one of his trees. Obatala got drunk and returned to his work of creation in that state, leading him to creating beings that were not perfect. Before he could realize what he did, he asked the god of sky to breathe life into them. The imperfection of what he did caused him such misery that Obatala swore never again to drink. Nonetheless, his creation was beautiful and other gods were happy with him. Do you have creation myths in your culture? Tell us in the comment section, but don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and check back for part 2.